Hello everyone, I'm sure by now you know about the game Fortnite. However, some people like it and some people don't, so here we are and we're going to have a debate about it.
So Fortnite is a horrible, disgusting video game released in 2017. It inspires violence in children and makes them think that shooting people is okay.
Honestly, I think that's more of an opinion because almost all games do that. Because like GTA and Call of Duty, you're not going against that right now, and that's shooting and there's violence.
Okay, but just because it's not as bad as some other games, it doesn't mean it's not inspiring violence in kids and making them more violent.
Then you're basically saying then you shouldn't be playing any gun games whatsoever.
Well, but you shouldn't really. If only people who are old enough and can handle the gore and killing should be able to play those video games.
So I think I'm old enough so I can handle this, and I think a bunch of other people can too. So how is that wrong?
Because according to a study made by California State, getting addicted to Fortnite has the same effect on children's brains as being addicted to alcohol and drugs.
Honestly, I mean, that could be true, but it's honestly the parent's preference. So if your parent says you could play it and they think you're responsible enough to play it, then you could. But if they don't really believe in you, then you really shouldn't play it.
Well, but even if the parent thinks it's okay, it's still addicting kids and taking their time away from school and exercise and other things.
That's very true. So I think the parent or the adult should they should test the game out first. So then they have so they just say yes or no to the child in the experience.
But but most parents won't want their kids to be playing video games that inspire them to shoot to think shooting is okay. Like the only way you can win in Fortnite is if you kill 99 other people.
Well, again, it's what your parent says. So if your parent says no, then the answer is no. So if it's yes, then it's yes. It's easy as that.
But when people get addicted, they stay up all night playing, and that causes kids to fall asleep during the middle of school.
But you can have a time limit too. So like 30 minutes to 60 minutes is probably a good amount of time for a kid our age about. And then their parents set like a timer and say, well, you're done right now, so get off, and then they probably listen. Or otherwise, their parent would ground them, and then there'd be no more.
Well, but if sometimes parents will tell them to get off at a certain time, and they won't get off, and they'll just get angry, and then they'll be mean to their parents, and they'll be angry.
An easy fix for that is the parent can easily shut it off. They can take their system out of the house and they can never play again. It's just it's all based on the parent. It's not the kid's fault whatsoever. It's the parent. If the parent says yes, parent says yes. If the parent says no, it's no.
Well, if the parent says yes, then their kids are still playing games that are inspiring violence in them. And some kids, when they die in Fortnite, they get angry and they break furniture and other items.
Hey, that's all the parent's fault. The parent lets them play the game. So if the parent doesn't want to play the game, they just say no. The Xbox or the PS4 is out of the house. We're done.
Even Prince Harry wants Fortnite to be banned because he thinks that it makes people irresponsible and addicted.
Well, Prince Harry, he's like, he's one of those proper people. He's like, Prince, all that. Well, of course he's gonna be like that. If he's a regular person like me and you, then he'd be like, yeah, Fortnite. Easy as that. Snap of a finger. Phew.
However, some people may argue that Fortnite is less violent than other games, but it is still a game that does encourage killing and murder.
Then don't play any violence games. That's what you're saying.
Well, then if you're not playing any violence game, then Fortnite should be banned.
Well, if it was that bad and that disgusting, then it should be banned, but it's not. So that means it's not really that bad of a game. If it was that bad of a game, then
I think it is pretty disgusting if it's inspiring kids to kill and murder.
So you're saying Call of Duty, GTA, and all those other games that with guns and violence are bad games too, even though
yes,
I'm guessing you probably
kids,
play it.
For younger kids, yes, they're bad games. And there are younger kids under the age of 6 who play Fortnite, and they get used to violence and guns and murder.
I totally agree with you. That's all the parent though. Parents like, hey Johnny, you can play this game, then you can play it. And there's also an age requirement on it, so the parents have an idea if their child's old enough or not.
Well, but sometimes some parents are more irresponsible and they still let kids underage play the game, and those kids, they get angry and they get inspired to be violent and they become criminals.
Okay, I think you're going a little too far, but the bigger picture is it's all the parent. If your kid, throws something or breaks something, that all leads up it to the parent because it's a cause and effect relationship. Parent says you play it, the effect is the kid plays it, and then their response to that is maybe acting normal or really not normal.
Well, yeah, but even if the parent says yes, then they're still doing harm to their kid. So Fortnite is just because the parent says yes doesn't make it okay.
Well, then
Because
that
the
means
kids
you're,
are still
you're saying,
still becoming violent and.
Well, you're saying the parent's harming the kid? That's never happening.
Although in many situations, the parent plays Fortnite, which makes the kid more eager to join them.
Really? I don't think so. If you have one Xbox, PlayStation, any console, then they won't want to play with them. It's only a one-player game.
Well, but even so, if the one-player game, then the kid's alone by himself, and he's learning that killing's okay, basically. A younger kid.
What? Well, there's no blood in it, so they're not learning.
Just 'cause there's no blood doesn't mean there's
they're
not
learning
killing.
life. They're learning life.
They're learning to kill. Killing is life.
Killing's not a good thing, but
Well,
it's
there's
life.
killing in Fortnite. Whereas
It's
not a good
life.
thing.
And
It happens.
Fortnite also,
But it's inspiring kids to kill in life.
Well, they shouldn't. Most kids are smart
Exactly.
enough.
They shouldn't play Fortnite.
No, most kids are smart enough to realize, well, I shouldn't be doing this in real life. I shouldn't do this. This is just a game. I know I'm responsible enough to not act like anybody else acts, when they, pow, pow, whew, whew.
but then Fortnite also creates, it makes people have less social life skills because they're communicating over console and stuff. So when they go to their jobs and their workplace, they're not going to be able to know how to communicate with other strangers, have a nice conversation because when you see each other.
There's something wrong about that situation. Or you said that's kids. That's adults. Kids, they go to school for 6 hours, 7 hours. They hang with their friends. At home, they do their homework, everything
Well,
they
yeah,
need to.
but some kids, instead of doing their homework, they stay on Fortnite for 5 hours.
Hey,
And then they have late work and they're doing bad grades now because of Fortnite.
then their parents should have the right to tell them, no, you're not playing this game anymore till you get your grades up.
Well, but if a parent tells them, oh no, you're not playing the game anymore, then the kid gets mad and the kid gets depressed because he loved the game.
Hey,
So if he never played the game altogether, then none of this would ever happen.
but it's all the parent. It all starts with the parent. It's like a big, old circle. It all starts with the parent. Parent says, yes, you play, of course you can play.
But sometimes the parent does not know how to make the right decision. They think their child is mature enough to play, however, they're not.
Well, they can easily, with a snap of a finger, they can take the system out of the house. They can put it somewhere else,
And then the kid gets mad. The kid gets so mad that they took their system out of the house, and now he's even more angry than he was after playing Fortnite.
There's I don't know, there's a word answer, so anger management. Your parents signed you up for an anger management class. Easy as that.
And the kid doesn't want to go to anger. If they never played Fortnite, they wouldn't have to take anger management.
You're going that. Well, and also, if they wouldn't have any anger, if they didn't play as you're saying and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but later in life, that anger is going to have to come out doing with something else. So if you get that anger out earlier in your life, then it won't affect you.
They wouldn't have that anger if they didn't play Fortnite.
Well, no, they get angry at different things too.
Well, yeah, but Fortnite
Yeah.
is the main. If Fortnite's one of the main things in their life, and they're getting mad at that, then most of their life is them just being angry and sad.
Well, their parents says no, you can't play this game. Then they're not going to play it. They take it out of the house. They do whatever they need to do to get their child in good shape, or mentally.
And Fortnite also ruins your vision because sometimes you cannot see the screen. So if you're stuck to 2 hours and you're looking so close at the screen, then your eyesight gets ruined, which can cause problems later in your life, like when you can't see even with glasses if your vision is so bad.
How come you guys are talking about like physically? I thought you were talking about mentally and stuff
We're
like
talking
that.
about it harms you physically and mentally.
Hey, all about the parent's decision. It's easy as that.
Well,
It's parents' preference.
some parents just want their kid to be happy. They just want their kids to be happy, and they don't care what it takes. So some parents just want their kids to play Fortnite because it just makes them happy. And then the kids play Fortnite too much, and then they get violent and angry, and then they have bad lives.
Well, I know sometimes I do that. My parents, they just tell me, you can't play this game. You just take a break for a while and you come back to it. It always helps my behavior to get better.
Well, but if you keep playing Fortnite and coming back to it, you're still playing the game. You're still getting exposed to violence and killing.
Hey, remember, the parent says you can play, you can, and stuff like
Well,
that.
if the parent says you can play, then you're getting exposed to violence and killing and murder, and you're gonna be angry, and you're gonna have bad grades, and it'll just destroy your life.
Unless you're responsible enough, mature enough, and smart enough, then
Well,
that could happen.
But most kids there's a lot of kids under the age of 8, 10 that play Fortnite, and they're not mature enough to know that.
Well, honestly, that's your opinion. I have my opinion. It's just all the parents' preference, all our preference. Thank you for watching, and adios, amigos.